All right, folks, we're back. Another episode of the Jake Silverman Show. Me, Jack, we're doing the damn thing. Welcome, everyone. Hope your week has been good. I'm on the up just because I'm not sick anymore. Being sick in New York City is a different type of hell because it's loud. There's fucking a million people around. You don't feel like you're getting better because you still kind of have to go out and get shit or whatever. So if you listen to last week's episode, I was like sinking into the bed recording that thing. By halfway through that episode, I remember being like, I don't know if I'm going to fucking make it. I was feeling like dog shit. So doing better, feeling better. Life is on the upswing. Not sick. You can hear it in my voice. You can hear the pep in my step through my voice. Jack's here. He's getting ready to go to fucking Texas, the fucking motherland. That's your fucking... Whew. Texas is where you really should be. I mean, I know the middle of Wyoming is fucking great for your people, but Texas is really the mecca. It's the motherland of all your belief systems. So I'm glad that you get to visit. I don't know what you're doing there. I'm not going to ask because it's probably illegal. So I'm just going to say, have fun this next couple of days down in Tejas.
Thanks. I've never been before, actually.
This is big for you, buddy. This is big.
It's pivotal.
You're going to meet a lot of like-minded individuals. You're going to see a lot of shirts and hats that you agree with 100%, no questions asked. You're going to see a lot of lawn signs that you go, hell yeah, I'm finally here. I'm home, you know? You'll do the Mecca circle. You'll circle around the fucking, DeSantis or a Trump 2024 sign. You'll just do the Mecca circle where I don't know really what they do. I don't really understand why they circle that thing. But anyways, so yeah, we're back. Life is good. I guess I'll give a quick shout out up top. One of the listeners to the pod, they were having some type of surgery, not like life-altering surgery, but they were going for a procedure. So I'm giving them a shout out. I hope it worked out well. It's not like saying someone's having a surgery is scary, but I think it's going to be fine. But they listen. They're a big listener to the pod. So wherever you're at, I hope it's working up and you're on the mend. Maybe you're listening to this right now. Maybe you're laughing in the hospital bed and they're like, fucking jam some morphine down their throat, dude. They're not supposed to be feeling anything yet. So hopefully it all worked well and, you're on the up and up. But, dude, I just got a message from... This is a little window into the entertainment industry, the lowest tiers of the entertainment industry, I should say. I just got a message from the people who I was working with, the little production company. Officially today, as of this recording, my documentary, Back at It, is now on Tubi. So you can go stream. Look at that. It's only November 30th, folks. How relevant is that documentary right now to you and your life? Isn't it great that it came out today, November 30th? God damn. Isn't that great? Isn't that great that it came out today? I'm so glad that today, this is when people are really talking about COVID and comedy and the pandemic. This is the time, folks. It's good. This is the perfect time for that documentary to be unleashed upon the masses. The masses who want a free ad subscription service called Tubi. It's up there, folks. It is up there, and now you can see 2 pieces of work on this free streaming service, okay? You can see it. You can see my crowd work special, and you can see Back at It. And yes, thank you, Tubi, the best. I am just skyrocketing again. This is this is how it should work.
You can bang some pots and pans, make a sourdough loaf, sit down and watch it. Yes.
Make a cloth mask from a fucking old pair of jeans, and, thank a nurse. It's time to flatten the curve, folks. We're doing it. All right. Yeah. So that's how things should work in the entertainment industry. Okay. I submitted that in April, I think. I think I submitted it to them in April, and it is now November 30th. Yeah, I just do everything yourself, folks. There's no, I mean, maybe once you get to the big leagues and things really have money behind them, maybe it works better. But, you know, I want to, I want to be grateful because whatever, these guys are the company that I'm working with, just a couple dudes, they're doing their thing. But, I mean, literally, I don't know what I was thinking, but we waited on them for months. Like the doc was edited pretty much. I just talked to the editor. I was like, yo, dude, I cannot believe this, but it's dropped. I got an email from the fucking production company saying, hey, it's on Tubi now. And, didn't even get an email. I should say I got a DM on Instagram.
Really?
That's the yeah. I got a DM on Instagram. So it wasn't even an email. And I was talking to the editor, and I'm looking back at our emails, and we had submitted the final cut on April 10th of 2022. We were like, here it is. This is it. So we were done in April, early April. We should have released it April 11th, bro. We should have just released it that day because it would have been way more timely. April, COVID was still kind of in the mind.
Yeah.
When we released in August, people had already had a whole summer. Like, it was too late. And we only released in August because we kept waiting for this company to tell us when it was going to be on Tubi. And they're like, we don't know. So eventually I was like, hey, man, we're just going to pull the trigger. I can't wait any longer. We worked our asses off on this thing. We have to put it out. So we put it out in like middle of August 2022. And now it is coming out November 30th, 2022. So, I mean, we definitely lost views on our release date. It was not in the zeitgeist nearly as what it could have been had we just released it in April. But November, I mean, the only hope that it has any clicks now is that COVID comes back with such force that people are like stuck inside again. They're like, hey, I guess we'll watch this documentary that is not even, it's like after COVID was done the first time, I guess, kind of. So, I mean, oh man, and let me tell you, we went back and forth on the fucking thumbnail that they were going to use for Tubi.
Yeah.
We had one that I used on YouTube that was from the doc. It looks good, fits well, yada, 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 right? It's me on the stage. The title is clear. And they were like, this doesn't really work for us. And I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't really matter to me at that point because I was just releasing it on YouTube. But then they sent me their version of this thumbnail, which was awful. It was so bad. Terrible font, terrible colors, random headshot of mine. Like it didn't have anything to do with the documentary. The headshot was like 2 years old. They were just like, what about this? And I was just so done with it at that point. I was like, whatever, dude. I don't care. Just use. It's like, to me, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, it's out on YouTube. That's the release to me. Yeah. If it comes out on the secondary service, then fuck it. You can use whatever thumbnail you want. I don't care. So I get the DM today, this morning, when I'm waking up. They have now used a different thumbnail, and the headshot is of me and my friend Hunter Donaldson. So it's a shot of two people, one of which has nothing to do with the documentary. Like, they literally just grabbed a random photo off of my social media or my website or wherever, and we're like, oh, this will work. So instead of using the one that we had hand selected that fit our project, they were like, that doesn't work. Here's a shitty one. And then they're like, actually, let's double down and make a twice as shitty one with some random guy. Now it just looks like the documentary is about me and this guy. Like, we're like two like gay lovers touring COVID America. So it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense that they just use this random stupid picture. And the font and the color, like, it's just like, I could have made a better one on fucking Canva for free, and I'm not a graphic designer. Like, I could have just done a better job of it than they did.
I see it right here. Oh my God. That's so weird.
What, dude, look this up. If you're listening, just Tubi is free. You don't even need the app. Just look at it on the fucking desktop. Look it on your phone.
So weird.
It makes zero. What world does that make sense?
Why is it
in that
green?
Picture?
The font.
Dude, doesn't it look like a fucking that font looks. It's first of all, it's my name is in what, yellow, and the title's in green. Yep. That font is like what they use on those cheap fucking grocery store paperbacks. It's like those with like the fucking Fabio chested motherfuckers.
Yes.
It is. Bro, I mean, it's just like, guys, what are we even doing here? Like, this makes no fucking sense. This makes no fucking sense to do it this way.
Well,
it's terrible.
They have to feel like they have to validate their involvement in the project, so they can't just take like. They have to have some sort of
all I want you to do is fucking take it.
I know.
I don't care about your creative. Literally, you were just my access to a potentially bigger audience. And instead, I sacrificed months of fucking potential views and timing of this fucking very timely it's not like a special that's just like these jokes are somewhat evergreen. It was a time-based documentary that was done. Already it took too long because it's just two dudes fucking working late at night at a fucking studio editing a fucking hour and 10-minute documentary alone. You know, it's just me and Jesse, my editor. So it already takes forever because we don't have a crew. We're not paying anybody. It's just me and him watching footage, making decisions day by day. If you've edited anything, you understand how long it takes to edit something. Yeah. Let alone fucking something that's over an hour long that crosses the country that's trying to have a fucking narrative. So we already wasted time waiting for them just to see if they could get on this stupid fucking Tubi. And then instead of just being like, well, we made the thing, let's just use the photo that makes sense for the project, you go out of your way to use a different one time, and then in between that time and now have scrapped it for a somehow worse photo. You have made it worse somehow. You've picked a random photo with a guy not in it, not in the documentary, and that photo that you're using, you're looking at it, it's... Me and Hunter use this for like shows that we did in Portland, right? So it's me standing up against a wall, giving the camera the finger, and he's sitting down like at my waist, and I'm putting my head on the top of his head, my hand on the top of his head. So it looks like some like Dom sub shit.
Yeah, it does.
And in the fucking graphic, his head is just the only thing showing. It looks like I'm almost like palming his head like a fucking basketball. I mean, it makes no sense. There's nothing. Anyways, whatever.
It's like back at it, like, oh, Jake's back at it, fucking Hunter again.
Yeah, he's fucking his little sub pet in the fucking ass again. The only thing cool that I saw about it being on Tubi was that when I looked, it was like, if you like this, you might like, and one of the movies was John Wick 3, which, okay,
Really?
I don't know how I'm fucking linked up with John Wick 3. I mean, it was like a romantic comedy, something else, and then John Wick 3. So I guess that's fucking badass because John Wick is cool. But beyond that, I mean, it just makes... You just have to do everything yourself. Until you have the money and all the power and it's like you're calling the shots, it's just better to do it yourself. And I should have fucking just done it. I should have just listened, but I had this idea of like, ooh, like, it'll be more official, like to be on a thing that you can watch on your TV screen instead of just YouTube, you know? But YouTube is where everything goes anyways. So I should have just fucking done it on YouTube. It would have been out. We would have had a fucking thing that, you know, because I don't know. It's just frustrating. Put that much work in something and then just see it fucking like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this shit?
I think that's a common thing with even with like book publishing. Is that the authors typically, unless they're really big star power, they have no say. So they make these like bullshit covers that have nothing to do with the book. And I never really thought of it as thumbnails on streaming, but apparently it's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so strange. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I never see any numbers from these. I don't know. I haven't seen a fucking dime from the original special being on Tubi anyways. So I don't know if that has made any money or if they're stealing it from me. Like, I don't know anything about this shit. Like, I don't know shit. It just is out there.
It's kind of like the person in a meeting that just is sitting there and they don't say anything the whole time. And then it's like, all right, anyone have anything else? And then they just speak up just to be like, oh, remember me? I'm here. I have a reason to be here.
Right.
It feels like that's kind of what's going on. Like there's somebody who fancies themselves some sort of creative type, and they just can't they don't want to be just like a thing you post something on. They want to have some sort of creative influence over it. And clearly that this is what happens.
I mean, this looks like a fucking a Special Olympics version of graphic design. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. It looks so fucking bad. I'm telling you, dude, I've like, just to promote shows, I've learned the basics of like how to put an image together on Canva, which is free. If they just asked me to do it, I would have done a better job than what they did.
Oh,
I mean, it makes no sense. Very frustrating. Very fucking frustrating, you know? I mean, who knows? But whatever. So if you want to fucking rewatch... No, don't. I'm not even... If you want to rewatch the doc, just watch it on YouTube. I need the fucking YouTube views much more than I need this fucking Tubi bullshit anyways. So fuck Tubi. Fuck all that shit. Just do it yourself. If you have anything, just do it yourself until you can guarantee that it's going to be done the way you want it and the way you envisioned it. Very frustrating. So, you know, it is what it is. I just had a fucking video kicked off YouTube this week anyways, so who knows? I'm not doing well with any of these streaming services. I had a fucking short, which is like a video that's under a minute. It's like their version of like TikTok now on YouTube. It's just it was from a fucking some nurse or some lady outside of a hospital when I was interviewing people last summer or about the vaccine. She was saying that this hospital's under the UN or whatever, you know, some crazy whatever bullshit. And they were like, this is medical misinformation. God. I don't know. I really don't know anybody who has gotten more shit kicked off of YouTube than me. Like, I have lost so many projects to YouTube censorship. I've had a video now that's been kicked off of both YouTube and Vimeo. So I've lost a video that I've made that thousands of people watched and enjoyed, literally cannot be seen anywhere anymore. It's just gone from the internet. Like, you know, and these people, I have friends who are like, you know, they're good people. They're like well-intentioned, but they'll hit me up and be like, oh, what about this thing? I'm like, dude, you can't, like, you know, they'll tell you about, oh, this is like a service that doesn't censor. I'm like, yeah, but no one is on that. No one is going to these fucking YouTube alternatives because, you know, that's like saying like, oh, my fucking video is premiering on World Star, dude. Like, no one is there. No one is watching that shit. You have to be where the fucking people are at, you know? I mean, it's just, I don't know.
You have to be the next thing that is recommended after somebody watches some big star.
It's a fucking social thing. It's literally based on millions and millions and millions of people being there. I mean, I don't know. That's like saying like, oh, I did fucking Madison Square Garden, but 0 people were there. I just rented it out and no one was there, and I put my little show on and no one watched it. I mean, who cares then? It's like you have to be where people are at. You have to be where all these people are at. So you can't just say like, oh, well, you can go somewhere else. It's like if you're kicked off the big ones, you might as well be invisible. Your work will never be seen by anybody. So fuck it, you know. So yeah, I lost a video this week. And I don't even understand it's so confusing. They're like, you have one strike. Now you can't post for a week. And if you don't get another one, it's like this little fucking mommy daddy shit. Like, if you don't get another one, you'll be a good little boy in our eyes. And da-da-da-da. And they tell you all these fucking rules about, you know, what you need to do to make sure you don't get in trouble. It's like, what I don't need to do is I just won't post anything of any controversy ever. That's what you're saying. I mean, just fuck it. It's one sentence. Don't say anything that will be in any way deemed controversial, even if what you're doing is somewhat mocking these people.
Right.
And, like, I mean, what I was doing wasn't like just giving her a thumbs up and be like, you're correct. It was just showing that people like her exist. But it's like, that just say we don't want anything on our platform that is anywhere near controversy dealing with elections or COVID or whatever the next fucking issue will be, because that's it. That's what they want. It's like they're acting like there's some way around it. It's like the only way around it is if you're a huge channel and then you can do whatever you want because there's an interest in keeping your shit online. But if you're just a fucking nothing guy, they'll just like, yeah, go fuck yourself. We don't want to deal with this shit. It's very frustrating because you can't, you're just out of the loop then. You're out of the fucking game.
And how much other medical misinformation and misinformation of every other type is on there? Like, I don't see what's so bad about that woman saying that.
No, I don't understand. I don't really understand. I mean, they've just made a decision, but I don't understand what constitutes misinformation if you have... I mean, it's just an opinion. It's like an opinion piece, It's just like, if it's not, I'm not presenting it as facts. I'm not like saying like, hey, this is true. I'm just like, this lady is a citizen of the fucking country that I live in. I'm interviewing her. She says some wild shit. The way we're cutting it is kind of like, this bitch is kind of crazy. But even if we weren't, like, who cares? Let people watch it and figure it out for themselves.
She's not like misinformation. She's just like a moron who's wrong. I don't understand misinformation.
Yes.
Like, isn't it just incorrect information? And is that all of a sudden not allowed?
Yeah, apparently to them, to these platforms, it's not. I mean, at least Instagram, it'll just be like, it'll have their annoying thing, like, learn more about COVID. Like, they'll have their little thing, but they don't take it down. Like, they hear the word COVID, or maybe they even understand from context it's about medicine or hospitals, and they have that little thing like, learn, you can click on some external link to probably go to the CDC's website, but at least they're just like letting it be. Like, maybe they throttle it, maybe they don't fucking pump it up the algorithm list, but at least they don't just say you can't fucking listen to us. It got taken down. It got taken permanently off YouTube and also on TikTok. TikTok took it down. And TikTok taking anything down is like,
yeah,
it's so. TikTok is just, a fucking basically an arm of the Chinese intelligence committee. Like, it's just like it's just a spy and manipulation tool by China. So the fact that they're just like, we can't have this crazy lady talking about, like, it's just like, dude, this is like basically a dictatorship that has an app. Like, that's what TikTok is. Like, it's just a fucking, It doesn't make any sense to say any. I mean, TikTok, I see the weirdest, wildest, grossest shit on TikTok. But then if you have a fucking lady saying that Bill Gates, people blaming shit on Bill Gates and like the Illuminati, that's not even new shit. I mean, they've been talking about that shit for decades.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's out there. People believe that. So who fucking cares?
And you think that TikTok would want that stuff on there if it really was wrong and harmful, which I don't think it is. But if they really thought it was, you'd think that they would want to be disseminating that stuff here.
I know. I had another one on TikTok from the documentary, actually, where we were interviewing a lady in Philly, and she was going off about, like, I want to see the U.S. burn, basically. Like, I'm getting out of the country. They took that one down too, and it was like, all right. Again, it's just her opinion. This is one lady speaking. Who cares? Like, what? I don't know. It just is. It's such a dumb reactionary way to be in the world. It really is just like, and maybe it's true because I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if America's ever proved itself to be fucking the most whatever, but it's just saying like, you can't handle this, or this is going to create problems for us or whatever. So just get it out of there. You're not adults. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, dude. It's depressing. But anyways, don't do anything controversial. Just, never fucking do anything different. Just do a bunch of dumb prank videos. Do a bunch of dumb videos where you ask women how many guys they fucked. Just go, just do stupid, mundane bullshit is what they want. And just keep feeding that. trough, just keep replenishing the trough with that fucking garbage. And just, that's the way you do it. That's what they want, it seems like. It's just stupid shit.
But if you want to disseminate real disinformation, like if you want to be one of the major newspapers and say that there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, that's not true, and then 1 million people die, you can do that with no consequences.
Yeah, because it's the power of scale. You have scale and you have authority. But if you're just some dumb idiot, on the streets of Vancouver asking crazy people what they think, then you're the real danger. Makes no fucking sense, dude. Makes no sense. But so anyways, support the work while it still remains on YouTube, I mean, it's just funny because they were saying, like, if you get a couple more of these, we're going to permanently delete your channel. I'm like, damn, I have, like, literally everything I've ever done in comedy is on this one place. Like, it would just be, like, over then. Like, I've done, I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. Like, just with a snap of the finger, they can be like, yeah, you're gone. And then that's it for your shit, So, very frustrating, but whatever. Here I am, just a 35-year-old man with a couple of roommates trying to make it in a child's game at this point, just a child's game out here. When's the last time you've had roommates?
Like
that wasn't your girlfriend, just like guys or people.
2016.
Okay.
And it was one other guy.
And I bet you don't miss it. It was just one dude?
Yeah.
In Portland?
In Boulder.
Oh, in Boulder. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Roommates. I think I'll be 40 with roommates. I think this is like, unless the trajectory changes like pretty rapidly, unless like I come up on some like major sustaining money, or I guess get the fuck out of New York and move to a cheaper place. Roommates at 40 looks like a pretty real life position that I will be in. And
that's not as bad in New York, though.
It's not as bad. No, I think women will still fuck you if you have roommates in New York at 40.
Yeah.
In another town, I think that's pretty much I don't know. I mean, I don't know too many women. I'd have to poll the women I know. But I feel like in most other towns, if you're 40 years old with roommates and you're like a single guy, I feel it's like, nah, this is not gonna work. This is a red flag. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? But in New York, everybody just knows it's expensive, so it's like you can get away with it.
I think so.
I mean, you can't get away with it in a certain class of women. I've already seen certain women in New York where I'd be like, they're not fucking guys with roommates, for sure. Like, I mean, I feel like if you're living in fucking either in Wall Street or like Midtown or, the anywhere around the park, you're not fucking dudes with roommates. That's just like, you have moved past that. You have enough money, and you are your eyes is looking for men who have their own apartments, their own houses. You're definitely not coming out to fucking Queens where they're ripping down a house behind my shitty apartment and banging a dude. That's just not happening. So that there is for sure a certain type of woman in New York who's not fucking guys with roommates. But I feel like this is one of the few cities that you could still get away with it at 40, where it's just like, all right, I get it.
Especially in like a creative circle.
Yes.
I feel like it's a little bit different.
There is.
Because it's people understand the game. They understand what you're going through. I don't know.
No, they do. Women are like, oh, he's an artist. That like,
yeah.
That like they can walk past another grown man in his underwear making eggs at the kitchen if they're like, all right, well, I'm fucking an artist and that's cool, that's nice. I was just thinking about it today because I'm starting to get the like, my room is right off the fucking kitchen and bathroom, so it's just like, it's a lot of noise, like people making food, people taking a piss, like I could just hear everything. And I was kind of like, I'm getting that like, oh boy, this is starting to get under my skin now, because it's just a lot of like banging and clattering at like odd times, and I'm just like, fuck. And then you're at that position where you're like, do I say something? You know, you're like, God damn it. Do I? Because being the guy who's like, hey guys, we're making a little too much noise. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be that fucking guy right now, dude. But I'm also just like, I'm also not trying to get woken up at 4 a.m. by you fucking smashing dishes around. You know, like, it's like that. I don't know. This is roommates, dude. This is roommates at 35.
Yeah.
This is just that life, you know, where you're like, okay, this is what we're doing, huh? These dreams are worth it. These dreams are worth it. I'm down. I'm here. I'm locked in. And now, yeah, you just have to make that decision. I mean, I've lived with so many different fucking roommates, but at a certain age, at a point in your life, roommates are cool because, like, when you're early 20s, you're like, yeah, let's get a house together. Like, you and your boys.
It's the best.
Because you're not really an individual yet. You're like more of like a collective. Like, you're a little like crew. And so you're all going to go out drinking. You're all going to party. You're all on the same schedule, basically, you know? But then each year you check off the calendar, you're just like, yeah, I don't want to fucking no. Then you have to be like more selective about your roommates, you know? And then you have to be like, nah, I don't want to live with a guy like this. And, you know, I feel like I've said this on the podcast, but there was a very distinct moment in my life in Portland when I was living with 3 other guys in a single bathroom house. There was a 1 bathroom for 4 dudes. So it was already just like kind of grody. And one of those, like, you have to time it so you can like cut in the morning if you're getting ready for work and shit. But there was a moment where I was living with a guy who dealt coke and was getting real high on his own supply. Like, a number of times where we wouldn't see him for days. He would just be in his room doing coke by himself, and we would be like, is he gonna die? And like, are we gonna have to do the like find a body in our house because he's just OD'd and we didn't know it because he just disappeared for days, you know? And I was kind of, I had a 40-hour week job and I was doing comedy, so I was kind of, my partying was pretty curtailed at this point. I was still drinking at the time and would like have a night once in a while, but I was not. I just, you know, I had to get up for fucking work. You know, I had to fucking go downtown to an office and work. So I wasn't fucking raging, but a lot of the other guys, like, one guy sold coke. One guy I think he was doing like little side hustles, but he had a pretty free schedule. And one guy I think was just unemployed. So they were like still raging. And I was like the guy who's kind of like, yeah, I'm breaking off. I'm trying to make some money or whatever. I was doing my own thing. But it came down one time, and I think my girlfriend at the time was sleeping over too, and that was always embarrassing because it's just a gross house, you know? You're like, the bathroom sucks, it's a shitty house, whatever. But I went down to take a piss, and I could hear them like partying downstairs, and I walked down, and the coke dealer and like 2 of his boys, who of course I had never seen before, it was like 3 a.m, were chopping up lines with their food stamp cards. And I was like, that was just one moment where I was like, I think I'm done. Like, I think I gotta get a new situation here. Like, it was just like, this is one of the saddest images I've ever seen, is just dudes who are on EBT doing lines of probably bad coke too. I mean, it was probably just shitty coke, you know, for their shitty lives and their whatever. But I was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I just kind of looked at it, and they didn't even really notice me at first because they were just like, you know, face deep in the table. And I was just like, I cannot believe this is it, huh? This is it. So I started making plans of like, I'm making my escape. And we had a great time. I mean, that house was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of shenanigans and a lot of fucking bullshit. But at a certain point, you're just like, not for me anymore. We're not doing this anymore. And then 8 years later, I still have roommates. So, you know, what's changed, Jack? What's fucking changed, you know? No coke here, as far as I can tell.
Do those guys still have roommates?
You know, I actually don't think any of them do. The guy who does coke turned into like a Sons of Anarchy kind of guy. He's like chopper, leather vest, long hair, tattoos. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he still does coke. I mean, he's in a biker crew, so maybe they're still partying. But like, total like the whole aesthetic. He's got like the fucking high bar, you know, fucking Easy Rider, fucking motorcycle, the fucking high handlebars, the fucking like sleeping roll on the back of his thing, you know, like he's just gonna. Oh yeah, like the whole look.
I gotta run down to Tucson.
Yeah, like I'm on the run from the federales. I gotta fucking sleep out in the desert for a while to, you know. So he's got that. One guy, and then the other two dudes both have longtime girlfriends, and they live with them. So they've all grown up. So I, ironically, am the only guy with roommates, and I was the one trying to get away from that. You know, it's, you know, we all make choices. We all make choices in this life. But yeah, dude. I mean, just goddamn, it's fun. Like it is because you can kind of even step away from it when you're in a house like that. And you're like, this is fucking crazy that we live like this. Like it's just like, but it's like fun. Like there's new people over every day. People are getting fucked up. There's like parties, girls. Like you know, especially with 4 dudes. Like you're just like, oh, are you dating this girl? Or, you know, you like see like girls come in and out of their lives. And then you're like, what happened to that one? And you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't see her anymore. And just like, it's just a whole ecosystem of trash really. And, you know, like, but it's fun. Like it's fun for a while. And then at some point you're just like, dude, this kind of isn't fun anymore. It sucks. And you just on top of people. And then like we lived with this one guy, former comedian who's no longer a comedian, who like just had like clearly like never like had roommates or like before. Like he just like didn't know how to live with other people. And then we had to like tell him like, hey man, when you're getting ready to go to work at 4:30, like don't blast your music. Like you're gonna wake people up. And he like didn't get that. Like he was just like, he was like confused by it. It was like, hey, like this is basic etiquette 101. And like it was just like a foreign concept to him. And he would get like upset about it when we'd be like, hey man, like can we just talk about this? Like let's just handle this as men. And he would just like not be able to like process it. Like one time we had this meeting with this guy and we're like, hey, can you like, you know, and it was very just like, hey man, I know you're getting up for work. It sucks you got to go to work so early, but like, can you just put headphones in? And dude literally just was like grunted. He was just like, ugh. Like he didn't even give a verbal response. He just we were like, all right, cool, you know. And it was just like, just gross, just ugh, you know. Look into his room and it's just like 7-Eleven pizza, like you know, like couldn't feed himself, just eating out of a gas station every day, just bottle of the cheapest whiskey and fucking 7-Eleven pizza, and you're just like, hey, like, oof, what the fuck are you doing, man? This is so nasty. This is so fucking gross that you're like this. But you know, it's the price you pay for being a cutting edge artist, you know?
Do you remember, did you ever have any like property management company or
oh yeah, we were in trouble with them.
Landlord always. that they would like, you had to bring a paper check in. I just remember, all right, I need the money, like get the money from this guy, go to the bank, deposit it, get a check, race over to the property management like before a certain time on the rent day. I just remember doing that like every single month.
Yeah, they did not
before
fuck around with
Venmo,
those.
before any of that.
Yeah. They did not fuck around with the late fees. It was just like, yeah, we're gonna add $100 a day for every day it's late or whatever. And you're just like, dude, what the fuck? We had one time where we delivered a paper check and they lost it and then charged us late fees, and then we had to show them that we gave them the check. Like we had this company, it's called MJP Properties, for MJP Management, for everybody who still rents in Portland. They're fucking criminals. We had them for that house. It was like 4 dudes. But I mean, like, we kind of benefited from them being so shitty because like we would call them for a problem, like, hey, like the garbage disposal doesn't work or this is broken, and they would just not come. They would simply just like never send anybody. I lived in the upstairs. It was like a one room upstairs. There was a leak. There was a leak in the roof that they would like fix temporarily. They would always like say they fixed it and they would just start leaking again the next big rain. You know, like they never knew what they were doing, it seemed like, because probably to actually fix it would be like, oh, we need to re-roof this. So they'll just, you know, put some fucking putty and bubble gum up there and be like, oh, it's fine, you know, whatever. But we benefited because we were growing weed at the house before it was legal. And they would do these random 24. It was so weird. We lived in this shitty house, but they would insist on doing these random pop-up 24-hour inspections. Like, we're giving you a day notice and we're going to be here. So we would always have to break down the whole grow room. We'd have to, like, strip it to make it look like we weren't growing weed. One time, we rented a U-Haul truck, put all the plants in it, put a light in it overnight, and then when they came, we just drove the U-Haul truck around the corner, and then when they left, we just reversed it back into the driveway, put all the plants in back, and reconstructed the grow room. Like, one time, they hit us, and we were, like, very close. Like, the plants just needed, like, they weren't quite ready to harvest, and we didn't want to do the whole U-Haul thing, so we were just, like, we had this backyard that they never had in any previous inspection gone back there because it was just a piece of dirt. It was like there was no reason to even go back there. So we're like, all right, we're going to just put the plants in a far corner under a tarp. Like there's no reason, like they might look back, but there's no reason they've never gone back. And of course, the first thing they do is they go, let's see the backyard. They go to the backyard and the weed is like fucking pungent because it's like ready to be harvested in like a week. So it fucking stinks. And they're like, what's that smell? And they immediately find it. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And we're like, oh, we have like an outdoor grow. And we have a medical card, I think is what we told them. And we had a medical card, but we let it expire. And, you know, we're thinking like, oh, they might like call the cops on us. They might, you know, press charges. Because without the medical card, we're just growing a federal amount of illegal weed. Like it's not like there's no. And then they're so dumb and lax that we just fucking like photoshopped the date and gave them the medical card, and they're like, oh, okay. They were just like, yeah, whatever. We don't give a fuck.
You're like Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't give a shit.
Crafty shit.
You have to be when you're fucking being bad boys, you know. But just like. I had another guy, this fucking dude in college. He was a professional baseball player, and he quit the majors because he found God. His name was... I bet you could find him. I think his name was Darcy Fast, and he wrote a book, I remember. He wrote a book about, like... I think he was on the Cubs. And he was a pastor in Olympia, Washington, I guess, or somewhere outside of there. But then he just started buying up all these houses. Did you find him?
Yeah, Darcy Fast, Dallas, Oregon.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs in 1968. He was a pitcher.
What's his book called? He wrote a book. It was called like... I feel like it was some hokey ass title. Maybe I'm misremembering it. I'm almost sure he wrote a book.
The Missing Cub? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Missing Cub. Darcy Fast.
Yeah. Because he left, I think. He left. I mean, he could have been like a major guy. I mean, he was pretty good. I think he could have had a long career, but then he like found God or some shit, or I don't know, something happened to him. But he ended up being a fucking small town pastor and then just being a fucking local, like, land baron, like slumlord kind of thing, where he would just buy or make these houses, and we were the first people to live in this new house that he had just built, you know, like a duplex kind of thing. And dude, when we were moving out, man, this motherfucker, like he like, you know, he's like zooming in on these photos to be like, see, there's some micro abrasions on the stove, you know, because you guys used too hard of a sponge when you would clean it. So he was just like ticky tacking all this money, so he didn't need to give us the deposit back. You know, he's talking about all this like little fucking things. It's like, dude, like people lived in the house. I don't know what you want. Like, do you think this is gonna look like when you built it? Like you had 4 guys living in a house for 2 years. Like it's not gonna look the same. We didn't punch holes in the walls, but dude, I just remember it was like early days of the iPhone, and he took a picture of it in front of me. I was standing right now, and he goes, well, look at this. I was like, where are you looking, dude? I don't even see what damage to the stove are you talking about? And he zoomed in on those early iPhones, took a picture, and then fucking zoomed in on the photo, goes, look at these little marks. I was like, dude, it's a stove. Like, what the fuck are you asking about? And so there was this rule in fucking Oregon where if you don't give like a written document of why you have to give, you have like a 30-day period to give people back their fucking deposit. And if you don't, you have to give them a written thing like, hey, the reason I'm not giving it to you right now is because I still have to assess damage, or I have to clean this carpet, or yada, yada, yada. And he didn't do this, so I called him on it. I was like, hey, man, it's been over the day. By law, you have to give us our full deposit. And he fucking blew up at me. And he was just like, and again, this is a man of God, folks. This is a fucking person who has dedicated his life to God. He is a pastor. He wants you to go to Jesus and, you know, repent your sins and da-da-da-da. And he goes, he's losing it, but he's losing it in a way that a Christian man does, where he won't swear at you, but he's just like yelling loudly at you. Like he's like, oh, you're you know, da-da-da-da. This is a mockery of the system, and da-da-da. And then he goes, and if you want that money, you can take me to small claims court. And I'm just like, he knows that I'm not going to do that because I'm a fucking broke college kid. I don't have the money nor the time to fucking drum up a small claims court against this guy. And so eventually he just called my other roommate. He goes, you know, Jake is being really hard about this and da-da-da. And then he just gave us a number that we had to agree to, or else we wouldn't get anything. So we just took it, and that was it. Like, they have all the power. And yeah, obviously Darcy Fast will be going to hell if he believes in it. Fucking just, what a total piece of shit. But yeah, landlords, man. The landlords in those fucking property rental places are just, you know, this absolute scum of the earth. Absolute scum of the earth.
Oh, yeah. I had one once that it was an apartment, nice apartment. I liked the place. It was like a nice place. It wasn't that shitty. I mean, it wasn't like luxury, but it was a decent apartment. And the woman next to me had cats, which wasn't allowed. And she's just this like old single woman with like a couple cats, not really cat lady-ish, but she had cats, and she would, you know, bring them out in the yard and sit with them and read. She's just a sweet old lady. And she moved out. And then like a week later, I get a call from the property management company, and the woman's like, so, Julia moved out. Did you notice that? I was like, yeah. She's like, so did you notice any animals around the premises?
Oh, she's trying to get you to rat her out?
It's like, are you trying to get me to rat something on my old neighbor? Fuck off. Like, she actually called me to try to get me to just rat on this lady so they could charge her an extra, whatever, couple $100 for the pet deposit. It's just like
scum,
the
dude.
definition of nickel and diming.
Scum. Absolute scum. It's like, also, it's like, bitch, you don't even own this property. You're just doing this on behalf. You're just like, just being a good German on this shit. Fuck you. Like, what? You're not going to get any money out of that. You're not, like, the lady making that call isn't going to get a pay raise just because I did my investigation and I determined that there was a cat in this apartment, and, you know, fuck you. Fuck all those people, dude. Yeah, I think here, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even on the lease, and I don't know any, but like, I feel like it's pretty laid back here in terms of, I mean, it's pretty laid back because it's kind of a dinged up apartment. So I don't know like how much, you know, they're really investigating, you know, like,
yeah,
but yeah, those fucking motherfuckers, dude. God, That's like your whole. And like the dudes I fucking because when you're talking about like we had to drop off like the paper check at the rent office and just seeing those dudes and just like they just gave off a fucking vibe like of like fucking like is it like I mean, I know I say this a lot to people, and I know we need certain people to run society, but I'm just like, is this really what you wanted for yourself, bro? Like, you're a fucking glorified, like, tattletale. Like, this is like, because they would always wear, like, fucking suits and shit, too. Like, they always had to have, like, nice business clothes on. I'm like, bro, like, who are you impressing with this suit, dude? Like, look at me. I'm showing up like me or my roommates are showing up like high or hungover to give you this money. Like, look at your clientele. Do we look like we need a motherfucker in a blazer, dude? Like, what are you doing? And they're, they're just got the nice businessman haircut and the fucking, and it's just like,
hey, how you doing, boss? Oh, thanks, boss.
Oh, yeah, how's that house over there? It's like, it sucks, bro, and you ain't doing shit. Look at the call log of how many times we tried to get you to fix shit and how many times you've even shown up, dude. Like, god damn, yeah. Always with the fucking, and then, I mean, here, dude, in New York, like, it's like, I don't even know. Like, you have to get some of the, when I was looking for spots, it was like, you needed to make like 40 times the rent. Like, I don't even know how, I mean, you have to find a situation like I do. You have to be like on the under the rug kind of thing, or else you're just fucked. Like I don't know what.
Yeah,
you would
find
do.
some Greek guy in a tracksuit, like, hey buddy, come on, move in.
Come on, move in. But yeah, it's gnarly out there. But then I hear people who are like, their solution is just like during COVID, it was just like. No, it's all going to be free. I'm just like, that's never stop. I wish you
rent freeze.
I mean, I like agree with it. Like, fuck them. But it's just like, guys, like this isn't. They were always like, we need to not pay our rent, like as a rent strike. And I was like, so are you going to help the people who get kicked out of their house because they didn't pay the rent? Because it's going to happen. Like, no one wants to be a victim. Like everybody wants the outcome. Yes, we want lower rents or we want stable rents or whatever, but no one wants to actually take that bullet of like, yeah, I just live on the streets now because I got kicked out of my apartment because I didn't pay. It's like the same reason why like everybody wants a lot of the politicians to die or be shot, but no one wants to pull the trigger. No one wants to be the guy to fucking like, a lot of people will say like, I mean, I used to do an old joke about it, but it was like the same shit with the protest in Portland. It's like everybody wants like, oh, we got to kill these cops. It's like, well, then do it. Why? Shoot them
right
then.
There.
They're there. You got guns. Shoot them. But it's like no one actually wants to do it because it's like, oh, I don't want to go to jail for this shit. But it's just like I don't know. So it's like you're just pinned between two shitty solutions. It's like, oh, we're at the behest of these fucking crooks, or it's like a fucking pretend land idea that is not going to happen. And in the middle, it's just a bunch of people like, I don't know. I'll just pay the rent. I don't know. I'll just get by. I don't really care.
And I mean, if the landlord doesn't pay the rent, then you're going to get kicked out anyway. It's like they got the bills to pay too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the solution. I know, there's a socialist out there going, well, actually, but I don't think, I'm just saying that's like most of the problems in society is like we all kind of have these extremist things in our mind. We're like, yeah, what if we just fucking didn't pay the rent? Or what if we just fucking like shot the president? But then it's like, yeah, when boots, if you want to actually do it, boots on the ground, you're like, oh, I just would rather watch Netflix or I don't want to fucking, I'm not trying to do this shit. And we're all hypocrites in that way. Sure, of course. Like I'm just saying like no one is lining up to do the dirty work. It's not that easy. It's easier to talk about these things. This is why everybody can talk now. We have a million tools for everybody to talk about these things. But yeah, no one's gonna fucking. You see what happens when people actually step on a line and do it. You get fucking, the guy anybody who's like ever has made an attempt on a politician or a cop. It's like, yeah, you're getting the full dick up your ass. You're gonna get totally fucked.
Oh yeah.
So. And you can't just rely on fucking, a fucking collective of anarchists to house you for the rest of your life while you're fucking on the run, It's not a fun life. So you just pay the rent, say, how's it going, officer? Yes, I paid for this subway, and life continues, Life is good. So, and we hope you're good, folks. But if you do want to take drastic action, please do not tie it to listening to this podcast, okay? If you need to make some type of violent move on the state or the state apparatus, that's you. That was 100% on you. You had those thoughts independent of this podcast. There's no reason to link me or Jack. You might want to link Jack because Jack does want to be tied to some type of extremist movement. But I just want to tell dumb jokes in comedy clubs, okay? So, do it on your own. That is the show this week. We hope everyone is doing well. I have some shows coming up. I also have a run in Denver that I'm doing in February. February like 8th through the 13th or something, but I'll post all those dates. I'm headlining some shows out there. I have a couple spots in New York that, check the Instagram or the website for those coming up. And, go rewatch Back at It on YouTube, please, so we get those views up. Subscribe to all this shit, and as always, give a 5-star review to the pod and give us a review on there so we keep climbing those charts. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else to plug. That's it, baby. All right, buddies. We will talk to you guys next week. Enjoy your week. Bye-bye.